Thank you very much, my group members. Today I would like to teach on co-training methods. As you all know, we are doing the course on training methodology, and being one of the subjects that is most critical in education, I just want to teach about some few training methods that we have learned as a group. And the first training method I'd like to teach today is about case study. So case study is one of the training methodology, and in case study it provides the participants an opportunity to develop skills by presenting a problem. So in other words, you learn by presenting the problem without a solution for another person to solve. It is, for example, right now, if I dictate a question to a student and I tell them to solve, that is what we call case study. I present a problem without a solution for the people who have presented the problem to solve, or with a solution. Sometimes I can present it with a solution, in that case, for them to solve it. Now, for example, a bank administration course has students select a bank from a list. Then they are given a hypothetical situation and are asked to apply their financial analysis to the situation. And this is without solution, so they have to go and seek solutions. So in that case, that is what we call case study. That's the first method of training. Now, the second method of training is what we call game-based. The second methodology is called game-based training, and trainees compete in a series of decision-making tasks which allows them to explore a variety of strategic alternatives and experience the consequences which affect the other players, but without risk to the individuals or the organization. So these are a collection of tasks, or in other words, a group of tasks that enable people to explore a variety of strategic alternatives. We all know that there are various alternatives to arriving at a conclusion or a decision. So game-based training is one of the training methodology which offers one of those alternatives. And they normally affect the players without risk to the individuals or to the organization. In other words, when you are applying, or when I'm applying this training methodology, it does not affect the individual or the organization. Now, for example, the hit American reality TV show, The Apprentice, has contestants work in teams that compensate against one another in business-related tasks, and each week a contestant is fired, leaving only one winner at the end. So this is a competition whereby we present like 10 members in a competition, and then we start now to filter them according to our own considerations, and then we remain with one winner. So in other words, no one is harmed, but we remain with one option, or one who is the winner. Now, the next training methodology is what we call internship. Now, internship training methodology involves supervised practical training while on the job, where the trainee is permitted to work in the position for which they are training, but with some restrictions and with substantially less pay or no pay. So in other words, when we normally go for attachment, this is whereby we are given now tasks and responsibility, and we are being monitored because we don't have the skills and the techniques it takes to deliver. So someone has to monitor us as we deliver our duties. So that is an example of a training methodology, and of course it is one of the requirements in most of the training institutions in Kenya to send their students on an internship. So normally it may involve a pay or it may not, depending on the constitution of the organization that you're working with. For example, the successful completion of a one-year internship is required for all clinical and counseling psychology students in the United States. In Kenya, it is varied. We can have a 1 year for those who are doing clinical psychology students. So under that one year, there is actually a person who is actually responsible for this internship internship students, and they are normally the ones who monitor actually the activities. They are the ones who monitor what they do, and at the end of the training, they can be able to tell whether they qualify for the job market or not. Now, the next one is what we call job rotation. Job rotation. Now, if we are in a workplace, for example, this one involves training for a job by working the job for a limited duration while still remaining the original job. In other words, if we are 10 of us and we are working on a particular department, we can actually be rotated so that we can avoid what we call familiarity. In other words, like for example, I may be working in the KRA, and we have many more other people who are working in the KRA. For example, I'm working in Kikuyu, another one is working in Eldoret, another one is working in Mombasa. So what we call actually job rotation, this is where by now we rotate people. Like we can transfer someone from Mombasa after doing there a job for almost 2 years, we transfer that person to another part of the region. And you have seen this with the policemen. The policemen are not allowed to actually stay in a particular place for a longer period of time. What they do is they transfer them. So that is what we call job rotation. Now, the next one is what we call job shadowing. Job shadowing. Now, with job shadowing, it involves a trainee closely observing someone performing a specific job in the natural job environment for the purpose of witnessing first-hand details of the job. So in other words, I may be actually one of the people who observe. I go somewhere to observe a person who is experienced in a certain field performing their duties. So I'm just there to observe and learn what they are doing. So, for example, if I want to know how to actually do car repair, I may go and watch a mechanic as they repair a vehicle. So that is what we call job shadowing. In other words, maybe I have an interest of pursuing that job in the future. So what I do, I can learn from a person who is experienced in that particular field. So that is what we call job shadowing. Now, the next one is what we call lecture. Lecture. Now, in lecture, it involves the dissemination of training material by a trainer to a group of trainees by means of verbal instruction. Like, for example, what I'm doing right now, I may be lecturing you. Maybe I'm passing knowledge from what I know to you people. So that is what we call lecturing. And then, of course, the last one is what we call, the last one but not least, we have what we call mentorship and apprenticeship. So in mentor, it involves one-to-one partnership between an employee with a senior employee. So mentorship, it can involve actually an employee and a person who is maybe training for a job, or a senior employee and a minor employee. In other words, we are saying that the senior employee is the one who is offering a mentorship towards a particular person so that they can perfect on their skills, they can perfect on their jobs, they can perfect on the way they are delivering actually their duties. So that is what we call mentorship. And also, when we look at apprenticeship, apprenticeship is actually for development of job skills. For example, I'm somewhere and with time, someone can be able to accredit for my work. They can be able to rate how I am and how I was some few months ago. For example, the Organization Development and Learning Center at the University maybe of Toronto offers mentorship programs of a 12-month duration, which partner staff with more senior university leaders to assist them in enhancing their job skills. So in other words, if we have an institution like now KTTC right now, or Kenya School of TVET, and we actually involve another university, maybe the University of Oxford, we can involve them so that they can mentor us, so that they can actually, we can mentor with them, we can partner with them so that they can actually teach us on the job skills and the current job skills that are required, the 21st century skills to be able to meet the market. So that is all about for today. Thank you so much, my group members. Yes.